Over the moon on this one. I've been very blessed to work with Jay King for 14, 15 years now, and he's been here even longer than that. And I don't use the word extraordinary very often. I have a lot of adjectives. That's not one of them I use all the time. But tonight, it is definitely extraordinary. And when I first glanced at this beautiful necklace, I went, oh my gosh, just saw a picture. And I knew it was very different. And then I really focused in on where this turquoise comes from, and that's what takes it to the extraordinary level. So rare, so exquisite, so sought after, such a collectible, and literally it is one time and one time only that we're doing a true Hubei collection in turquoise as a today's special. So here's my little heads up to you. There are matching pieces. In the matching pieces, I'm at either 100 to 200 pieces in the cuff, also in a pendant you're about to see, in my earrings. But the featured product, the featured necklace of the night, is this amazing turquoise necklace that is breathtaking. But beyond it, there's a phenomenal, phenomenal story. And thus, Jay is with us, and he's not told me the story. It was killing you too. He's so cute. He gets very excited about when we do today. You get excited about a lot of stuff, but today's specials you get pumped about, right? And he started to blurt the story out. I said, no, Jay, you gotta wait. You're gonna tell us all fresh. How in the world did you get this turquoise?
I'm just trying to tell everybody, and I sincerely mean this, okay? This is Hubei turquoise. This is what they call antique or vintage turquoise. Besides Sleeping Beauty turquoise, this is probably one of the most sought after rough materials in the turquoise world.
But why?
This is the turquoise that started the revolution in turquoise in the 70s and early 80s in China. This was the very first mine. It is closed down. In fact, now it's closed. It's been closed for over 30 years, this whole area. It's all controlled by the military. You can't even go in. The only reason, we have pictures at the mine. The reason that this came about is I have, in fact, this is the region. They're just showing you pictures of China. What's really amazing about that, you can see the man on the left there. Okay, Harry is the American on the right. He started Tibetan. The man on the left there, he's in his 30s there. He's one of my partners in one of my business. He knows more, he has forgotten more about turquoise than I'll ever know, and I know a lot about turquoise.
Wow.
What is so amazing, you can see them
so
here.
These pictures are from when?
These are from the 70s. This is at the Hubei mine. Those are the original Americans, and what makes this so amazing, okay? He was a member of the Chu family. This is, that is, as of 4 months ago, that's Hubei as it is now. This is the mine. This, I know you just see that.
But it's defunct.
No, that is like the old headquarters where they were at, and they have a picture, you'll see a door. And okay, see that door, see that back there? Okay, the mine's back in that mountain. That door right there, when you go through that door right there, you go into the mine shaft, which goes way back. This is all, the only reason you're seeing those pictures right there, you can see the gray-haired gentleman, that was the man that you saw. He's one of my partners that you saw when he was in his 30 years old, okay? And that's all of his brothers right there. The only reason that you could even see that picture is because he was given an invite by the government to come. They're actually doing a bronze statue of him.
Oh, wow.
They're doing this whole museum of Hubei. It's famous. It's world famous. Okay, nobody can get those pictures right there. It's controlled by the army. You can't even go into the area. But because he had a personal invite, much less take a picture.
Well, wait,
right?
but to understand,
this is
the only way you can get Hubei is if it is vintage stone. Look, this is not newly mined stone.
No, this was mined in the 70s, okay?
What's on my necklace?
All right, this was mined in the 70s. When you've seen Hubei turquoise from me before, you see dribbles and drabs. It sells out like crazy. People collect it. They know the value of this. Do you know the amazing, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity to be able to get something this size size, we'll never, ever be able to do another Today's Special. This was a miracle. It was a miracle. This is one of the original miners who got in touch with my partner, Simon. This guy is one of the original miners. You have to understand, these guys go back over 50 years together, right? Knowing each other for over 50 years. He was one of the original miners in the Chu family. He was sitting on this stash. This is his...
Since the 80s.
Since the 70s.
70s and 80s.
Yeah, late 70s, early 80s. He has had this squirreled away. And he called my friend. He came, he looked at it, he got a hold of me, said, what do you want to do?
It's crazy.
And we were able to put this together. This is literally a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Okay, so
this is the most amazing, amazing rough.
And I just want to give you a couple little details. This is the real thing. This is not composite, it's not put together. You are looking at genuine Hubei turquoise. Again, this literally, what you're going to wear on your neck has to be vintage because there is no mined Hubei turquoise nowadays. They stopped mining it in the 80s. So it's vintage, it's rare. And this collection, as you said, was basically found, and I thought it was so interesting, in kind of a storage room or an area warehouse they didn't even think about much anymore. And then you were able to get a hold of it. Now, what I love about tonight is at midnight, we've got it all. Now, what's gonna happen very quickly is once everybody, especially rockhounds and people who love Jay's jewelry, we have this Hubei as a Today's Special, these are gonna fly, and they already are. If you're thinking about it, I just want you to see the other thing I was just shocked at is the size of the millimeters of the graduated beads on this. I couldn't believe, if Jay had done a whole necklace of Hubei in this size back here, I'd get it. I'd be like, wow, that's a heck of an offer. That is a heck of a Today's Special. But the fact, Jay, that you went from these little beads way down to these huge, big, almost boulders, that's using up so much of this precious, precious vintage antique stone. And I was thrilled you did it. But again, this is your one chance. Now, I do want to show you the associated pieces, because if you're going for it and if you love his jewelry, you definitely go for it. We're going to start with the ring. I have sizes 5 through 12 in the ring. I have less than 900 available in the ring. So here's the story. I want you to see that. So Jay, you actually use two different stones on here. It's two different colors.